Alright, here we are, about to pick a medieval culture, industrial culture. We spent a relatively short time as the Caribbean pirates in the early modern. This was partly because, as the Norse, we spent a very, very long time in medieval, such that we'd already gotten like 4 stars worth of progress done. Partly because the Caribbean pirates, as I've said a couple times, has no emblematic quarter. So they're unusually less punishing to upgrade from early. One of the main downsides for doing that is gone. So let's just dive right in and have a look. Now this time, usually we've had some leavings, but Black has still remaining as the Dutch for now. So we do get our very, very first pick. Nobody else can take the pick from us. So, the Ethiopians. Science on garrison is kind of a weird one in that you often don't have reason to have built a lot of garrisons unless suddenly you have, which is you've had bad stability. So there's kind of 2 different paths you can take to gain stability, which is commons quarters or garrisons. In our case, we've basically gone for neither because we've got some wonders, we were the Ja, so we kind of just had some good bulwarks around getting too unstable in most of our cities. Aside from that beef time when we flirted with war weariness, that's the word I'm looking for. But in general, you can see that our places are pretty well. Sipar is having some trouble, and that's basically it. Everybody else, like even if the ones who are low, they're going to high, and they just need to make it there. It's only Sipar that's having issues. And that's just because it's quite big, and because the Babylonians, they built a lot of districts. You notice I'm not really spamming Maker's Quarters like this, for example. I think the reason the sound cuts out suddenly is because I've got Bluetooth speakers, and even though they're plugged in, they're just being a little prissy. What are you going to do? Anyway, so the point is, most of the time the Ethiopian science on garrison is not very good. If it is good, you'll know it, because you'll happen to have said, I need to build a lot of garrisons. There's quite an early infrastructure that makes garrisons give even more stability. There's some emblematic quarters or garrisons. There's some civics around garrisons. If you're all in on garrisons, then the Ethiopians are good. If you don't really have many and you're just going to start by building Amba, that's not worth it. You need to already have a lot for that part. And then the science per combat strength of hostile units, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it comes up that much, but it's also kind of just a consequence of how I play. Maybe if you're kind of grabbing land you can't hold and losing it back and forth in war. I really try to avoid losing much territory in wars. I suppose if you've got more of a live and let live about it, then this could be better. This is all to say I've never used the Ethiopians. Militarist culture is just kind of nice here, but there are 3. This is a good era. I mean, you've seen how much value we're getting from iron reserves. We would like to have that again. I just keep getting out because the noise thing bothers me so bad, but I know it makes a bad video, so I'll stop. The cavalry are quite good. That's what I'll say. The Oromo cavalry, super strong. Bonus combat strength from veterancy, especially for us, right? We've got just unbelievable amounts of irons, so we make people who are double veterans. That would put these at a 53 cavalry that has 6 movement, 4 range. Like, wowie. The Oromo cavalry are really strong. The other Ethiopian stuff is like, really situational. Hawaiians, influence per workers. As I kind of kept going on about in early modern, because we went for the land rights civic where we just pay money to do our attachments and stuff, we just don't need influence much, and it's still the same story. It'll be the same story the rest of the game. Implacable, like I've mentioned, is a reasonably good, because that's kind of how you want to be doing the attacks anyway. The local Koopa. Now, that is a lot of food. That's a lot of food. And especially note that it's going to get 15 per ocean, but we've got observe fasts in our religion. So the harbors also just give more in general. So, would be a lot of food to go Hawaiian. Oh, this doesn't actually count as a harbor. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. So far, the first 2, not impressed. Persians. Now, when I was telling you about the Mughal thing, where you take Topkapi Palace and then just try to slam wonders one after the other, Persians are where you naturally go for that. Because the shared industry costs are already like minus 100%, now it's 125%. So, it is additive, but I think it's additive. I don't actually know. So, just, it's really good. And then obviously, everything being cheaper is also nice. The Jezeriks, stronger when attacking is a pretty good, because that's who you kind of should be playing. They're a bit weak compared to some of the others. You see this 56 versus the Ethiopians are 49 and going to be stronger. The Koa Warriors are 48, better against damage. But piercing is good. And then the Caravanserai, I mean, we have quite a lot of trade routes. It is a maker's quarter market, and you get movement speed because it's like... I think that's mostly for flavor, the 3 movement speed if you end on that district, but it's still really cool. So Persians I'd be quite happy with. Spam this out. Argentinians. So Land Rush, this is a thing I've mentioned a couple of times talking about worker slots, but it's just been so small of a factor. I've had like a couple of times where I've been 1 or 2 over. There are going to be Humankind games where your food gain is really solid. Is there anything I can do about the noise? I'm going insane. Okay, we'll try it. I don't know. Alright, anyway. There are going to be cases where you're like constantly like 5 or 6 jobs over all the time, desperately trying to spam hamlets and make slots because your food is so good. That's when Land Rush, it's amazing to just get some slots. It is per deposit, not per access, so it's not an ungodly amount, but it can still be, if you've got on average like a couple of deposits per territory, you've got a 10 territory city, that's 20 jobs. So Land Rush is really cool. Solidero is also really cool. It basically makes a new deposit of salted beef, which is automatically exploited. That gives you another farmer slot, because it's a luxury. And then you get this luxury that gives you 5 stability on all cities and minus 1% army upkeep per salted beef. And you can build that once per territory, so if you get 100 salted Solideros, then your army is free, So Argentinian's very good if you've already got the food to support it. The Gauchos, the first attack also supplies suppression. Suppression, I think, lowers your move. I don't actually remember exactly what suppression does. It's kind of annoying. It, maybe lowers your movement or makes your next attack worse or something. I'd have to see when I see a Gaucho in a fight. So, fine. I don't really have the food to justify Argentinians, especially over Persians, who are so far head and shoulders above the rest. Austro-Hungarians, exactly the same thing. I'm just not picking athlete cultures anymore because I'm getting so little out of influence these days. The Opernhaus is again... Not again. This is a new thought, sorry. I guess again in the sense that I had that whole discussion that if you are going for stability from the garrisons, that's one path with the Ethiopians. You don't actually pick Austro-Hungarians if you're going through commons, although they do make commons quarters, so it synergizes with stuff that helps commons. But mostly you go Austro-Hungarians if you haven't been doing stability and now you're facing the music. Because the thing about +1 stability per district and territory is that the biggest cities, which have the biggest stability problems, also get the biggest discounts, okay? So you just spam Opernhauses and your stability becomes fine. That's, I would say, the biggest reason that you will end up picking Austro-Hungarian, is that stability is a mess everywhere, and you've got really good gears to build lots of districts, and your limiting factor is stability. You use your gears to spam a bunch of these. Now stability is fine. It will be fine for the rest of the game. The agents, all terrain, I don't know. Ignoring terrain movement penalties can be kind of nice. Stealth can be kind of nice. This is, again, my bias where stealth is fiddly, and I just don't like to play with it that much. But, like I said, mostly if you're picking Austro-Hungarian, you're picking them for the houses because your stability is poor. So, British is kind of fun. Basically, all of your cities give you +10 money, +10 research, but it gets attributed to your capital, which is meaningful for stuff like the Taj Mahal that we're building, right? We're going to get the 50% money on the settled city. So the British colonially steal the loot of everybody, but they attribute it to your main city. The Redcoats expedition, this is one of those that actually can be a big deal. Not so much for us, because of our enduring alliance with Brown. We're never that far from somewhere to rest our troops, anywhere, any war in the world. Now, if we start taking it to the Dutch homeland, we will probably have those problems. But in this case, there's Constantinople is kind of the first soft underbelly. And quite frankly, if we can beat them off of the New World, limit them to their own continent, then we will just defeat them through manpower, right? You see how much purple's on the map here? As long as we start cutting them off here, I don't really need to take it to their homeland. If I did need to take it to their homeland, that's when Expedition, it can actually be a really big deal. That you can kind of like take the little skirmishes and not need break time. Having said that, a very common tactic is that you just take a break to ransack an outpost and then use that outpost to heal. But sometimes that doesn't work out. An Expedition just gives you that flexibility, especially if the clock is ticking, is when it's a very big deal. If you're doing an offensive war and you need to, occupy the city before things turn against you, then you'll really be happy you don't need to take those extra turns to rest that you're resting on the way. Now, the Colonial Office is really annoying. So, the way the Colonial Office works is you build it in other territory civs when you're the liege. So it gives them money, but it also gives you money. I don't know, it's weird, it's fiddly. Having vassals is kind of a pain in the ass, because you could just take the territory yourself, and even if you do, they've got to keep them as a vassal, which means they need to never rise up, but also never be defeated. And they don't win the game as your vassal if you win, so they're always trying to stop it. I find this to be a real pain in the ass. So, that's my take. Not a big fan of the British overall. If you're in, thematically, it's quite nice if you're in, a great game equilibrium, where, I have 3 vassals and the Dutch has 3 vassals, and we're, the 2 great powers of the world going at it. Sure, maybe you could build a lot of colonial offices. I've had that happen once, maybe. Typically, I find that you just don't get those stable equilibria with several vassals. The vassals either rise up or they get defeated, and you just can't count on that to be stable. The French. Enlightened thinking, very, very strong. Just a flat 10% science this late in the game when you're making so much is a big deal. The exhibition hall, number of science per trade routes, very good in spots. And the nice thing is, because trade routes get so focused, you just build a lot of these in the spots where you need it and not where you don't. And then the Curiosers, these are not quite as nice. They're very, very strong, okay? You see, already 54 strength plus the heavier charge. And that is a big deal when you compare that to, the Warriors having 48. Once you hit Industrial Era, it's really hard to have a fight where people aren't fortified. There's so many buildings on the map now, okay? And people start getting, the range of gunfire where they don't need to meet you out in the open. So, this is the era where you get Dragoons. So the Gauchos and the Oromo Cavalry are different versions of the Dragoon, who are, gunners on horseback. A non-gunner on horseback only works if they stay outside, which is not the most common. However, all of this can be forgiven because, remember how I said last era that Landraiser, the builder affinity where everything becomes gears, was definitely better late game. It wasn't good ancient, it would have been really good early modern. That is true for Collective Minds as well. I didn't bring it up because I didn't like the look of the science cultures in that era that much. Collective Minds here is incredible. Because remember, the reason I'm building all the Taj and stuff is because my Heartland is just super safe and out of good buildings to build, right? These guys maybe got some stuff to do, but, Feng Hao, Usenje, Sipar, now that the Babylon War is done, is going to be getting there soon. And Haojing, although Haojing is going to have need to stop for some jobs here. I could very, very easily just leave one of them in Collective Minds mode. So getting 10% science plus all of the gears and money going into science. So like here, that's an extra like 600 science. That's pretty significant. So just the fact that science, and especially science is my blocker. It's worth articulating this a bit. So remember, I was started this era like in like a 3-front war. I don't know if I started. I got in a 3-front war. I handled it pretty well. And I just have got this one war with the Dutch that's just kind of sitting around. Not much is going down. She is going to start draining because our ideological proximity got a bit closer. So she drains more a turn for being the one to declare before we were opposed. So it stayed neutral. But the point is, remember she had those musketeers. And they're very strong. And we kind of just beat them not through any sort of like... Not because we deserved to, but because she just sent a few musketeers instead of getting a full squad. And I kind of had the manpower advantage because she was sieging the city. I had the terrain. I pulled some dirty ninja tricks. And I managed to, like, still lose more material than she did, right? If you look here, I got 4 war score, lost 8. But I managed to limp my way through. That's unlikely to happen a second time. I need tech, okay? The main way I lose now is that the Dutch bring an army that I can't overcome with just numbers because I'm too technologically behind. So I'm very, very interested in the promise of more science here to go catch up on some research debt and get there. It means the foresight affinity is maybe less useful because I'm so deep. Like before, remember Ancient and Classic, I finished all the text and then I had to wait around. Whereas now it's like, I want to still go back for military architecture, which I already have some progress in. I want the city cap. There's like stuff here that'll give me more science. There's stuff here that gives me more science. This is where I can get the musketeer to match for military. And that's all the stuff that's just debt from early modern I'll need to catch up on. Whereas there's also all this industrial stuff to consider. Okay? So science is like something I'm very, very interested in. And that's kind of why the French are a little boring and generic here. Because they're just kind of your out if you're low on science. And they're not that complicated to use. And as it happens, I am trading a lot in a couple of cities. So the exhibition halls would be quite nice. They don't create a research job, which is quite annoying because jobs are a problem in Haojing, the city with all the trade. But it is what it is. So right now the French are very interesting. I don't know how I weigh them against the Persians because Mighty Works also good. Right now for me it's definitely one of those two, but let us continue. The Germans, +3 strength on naval unit. Now that does match pretty well with the Norsemen Stormborn +2. +5 total. And once I get a big enough fleet that I won't be scared off by the Dutch fleet, then I can start poaching resources, getting Sparkling Plunder. The first time they plunder, they get 2 more strength for being an outlaw. And I can just go and do my ransacks that are worth like $1 billion each because I have like 20 nous. Alright, that's a pretty fun playstyle to consider, the Iron Ordnance. And just the units get cheaper. You also get a discount on air units, which, you know, don't really come up. I think you can build them in Industrial, but they really come into their own in Contemporary, which is the last era of the game. But very strong. Their unit is the U-boat, where you can do... Now, as much as I don't like stealth, U-boats are a lot more fun than most for stealth, because the ocean is sort of like so wide, and they go so fast, especially with Stormborn, that you kind of just go get a stack of U-boats, find a stack of ships, and sink it. And I think that the fact that you can just hide in the ocean makes it feel a bit less annoying. So, pretty strong. And then the coking works. Industry per pop, industry per maker's quarter. If you've been doing lots of maker's quarters, these are really strong. Otherwise, if you've got lots of food, then the industry per pop is still pretty good. You need to have one or the other. You also see +10 pollution. So this is the era that pollution starts coming into play. Basically, if you get too much pollution locally, it creates a status that has a big stability hit because people are unhappy and sick. And I think it like limits your food too. And then if you get global pollution, that kind of thing can happen everywhere. You can also, technically speaking, lose because there's too much pollution, but I find it to be a very like weird and unset. So I turn it off. I don't allow a term limit endgame, because I think that's very boring and anticlimactic. It was like, we arbitrarily decided society is over. Let us tally and see who wins. And then I turn off pollution threshold because it's just like, what a weird, boring way to go. They've said that they don't really like exactly how they implemented pollution, and it's on the block for a fix. Right now, just know that it's bad, but it's controllable. If you spam a bunch of coking works, you will have to pay for it eventually by investing in forestry or something. The Italians. So the Italians, it's a shame that they came alphabetically after the Austro-Hungarians, because the Italians are like the counterpart to the Ethiopians. The Ethiopians are like, if you needed a stability fix and you chose garrisons, we will reward you. The Italians say, if you needed a stability fix and you chose commons quarters, we'll reward you. We'll make them count for an additional plus 10. We'll make them worth 1 more influence, and it's cheaper to build more. And the Teatro annoyingly doesn't count as a commons quarter, but it does still net increase stability, and then it benefits being in the middle of the commons. The idea is that you've got all the commons, and you build the theaters. Once again, we are not interested in athlete cultures, and we're not interested in stability. There's nothing here for us. The Alpini can cross cliffs, which is, like, irrelevant except when suddenly you can surprise the hell out of somebody. But, I don't know. It's one of those, we're very much like the Ethiopians. You'll know when it's an Italians run. It will be like, oh, I should go Italians. If you're uncertain, then you shouldn't. The Mexicans, food on all cities, solid, uncomplicated. Not as good this late in the game as the minus consumption on cities from last era, but it's still something. Hacienda, 1 more food on tile producing food means that the bigger you have territory, like the more territories you have for one city, the more you really want to like sustain a few big cities with the Mexicans. And then their unit is another guerrilla stealth fighter. I can't say, I'm not sure I've ever picked the Mexicans. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. I guess if you're starving to death and you need the food now, they are, well, now they're not even the only ag culture, but if you don't care about the influence side of things and or you're very inland, then maybe you pick them. Usually I find there's better things to take in industrial. The Russians, cheaper crate outpost cost is like, how much empty land is there in industrial? I guess it depends on your map settings. And of course, you still need a crate outpost when you ransack and then rebuild for yourself. Fortification on cities and outposts. So like that is so weird because their expansionist soldiers' bellies are not satisfied with empty promises. And then it's like an offensive and a defensive. It doesn't really know what it wants to do. The Sobor, they give you faith, health regen, and it counts as religious. So, like, but that's health regen in your territory. So you're, like, going out and doing a border skirmish and then running back? And the Cossacks have multi-move, which, as I've mentioned before, is very strong with ranged units, because then everybody gets to attack from the best spot. And with 6 movement, they can all get there. So Cossacks are fine. They're a little weak, you know, compared to the Ethiopian 49 plus double per veterancy. It's like, eh. But overall, really not a fan of the Russians. The one thing I will say in the Russians' defense is that the 2 expansionists this era are the Russian and the British. And if you've got no vassals, it's just the colonial riches for the British. And sometimes in industrial, you really, really, really just need an industrial, even if it had no LT, no emblematic, no district. You would sometimes just pick expansionist for the affinity in industrial, right? If you've got like the other big civ and they're sort of very scrupulous about not giving you reasons to declare war, and you just can't get the war support, then you might just need under one banner to start gobbling them up and kind of forcing the issue, right? Or you just might need trespassing because like your empire has another guy in the middle, whatever. That's the one thing I'll say, is that you should always be aware of when you really need the expansionist affinity. And that's very important in industrial because you would very rarely pick the British and the Russians on their own merits, right? But sometimes you just gotta trespass. Siamese! I goddamn love the Siamese. I don't even know how strong they are. I just feel good every time I play them. So the Siamese, industry per district. That's not per district producing gears. That's just the bigger your city, the bigger it goes. More money, the more trade. They're just all about prosperity. The floating market gives you both. It gives you 5, which you might say 5 is not a lot of industry, and it's not, but it's just there, like, it counts as a baker's quarter, so it just will get all of your bonus to stuff producing industry, plus some flat money, and then the Gatling Elephant, oh, there we go, that's depression, they can't move next turn. Alright, I was right the first time. 55 strength gunner, they can't move next turn, you're a big ol' elephant, hee-haw. Just everything about the Siamese. It's like so easy to play the Siamese, okay? This is just passive stuff you ain't got to do no work for. And the floating market is just, get some money, man. Enjoy. Live long and prosper. Here's a big elephant. It's just all super good stuff that's super uncomplicated, easy to use. I really enjoy playing the Siamese. I probably pick them more than I should because they're just such a comfort and a joy to run with. And they're one of them, like the Russian, or bleh, not the Russians, like the Egyptians all the way back in ancient era, the Siamese are another, you're never wrong to pick Siamese. If you're racked with indecision, pick the Siamese and you'll have a good time. Sometimes other civs are better, Siamese are literally never bad. And finally the Zulu, combat strength unsupplied, so that helps for defensive wars. Now that is kind of useful now. I'm in a position with the Dutch. Are they still? Yeah, they're still the Dutch. I'm in a position with the Dutch where they're at war with me perpetually. And I have quite a bit more territory than them. Right now, at least, they have the tech lead, and we'll see how much they hold it. What this means is that I'm kind of comfortable just sitting in this defensive war and running the clock. And you've noticed that's what I've been doing. Zulu is quite good for this, because I get the health regen and the combat strength unsupplied. The MP have the combat strength attacking stronger units, okay? So they let you play from a tech deficit, because you build the MP, they don't have any, unlike almost all these who have a tech requirement, I can just build the MP right when I era up, okay? They're 47 strength, which I wish I could, I don't remember what the strength of her musketeers are on Humankind difficulty. But you see, they're stronger than my arquebusiers now, right? So I get immediately increase in strength that I don't need to research. I get another bonus because I'm defensive, which means all my units are supplied. Because supplied is the status for being in your own borders and getting healing, right? I also, if they try to fight me with multiple stacks, I regenerate 50% between fights. And then finally, the Warriors in Zulu gives 4 more combat strength when I'm fighting adjacent to it. And it's just a farmer's quarter, just randomly, why not, okay? So the Zulu, and you get iron reserves, which, you know, I've shown iron reserves is the nut. So I think they're generally a lot stronger than the Ethiopians, unless you specifically want the Oromo cavalry, right? Because, like, man, oh man. Instant access to the MPs, instant +2 on top of that, instant access to this. That defends me. So to me, this playthrough is going like 3 distinct ways. Okay? And here's narrative number 1, in reverse order of how I saw the cultures, because it's freshest on the mind. Narrative number 1 goes like this. I have a slight star lead going into Era 5. I have a pretty significant territory lead over everybody else. I have a nice productive alliance. I have a very close possibility.
Have a seat.
I've been cooking the Rapa Nui a little bit,
Let's get to know
but I could like start refusing the demands and getting saucy at any time, okay? So I'm getting probably even more territory. Narrative 1 says, the only way I lose this is by getting blown out in a war with the Dutch. That if things just continue on an even keel, I'm going to be fine. That narrative says, pick the Zulu, because if you don't need them, you were winning anyway. And if you do need them, they are a really remarkable swing. Narrative number 2 says, well, hold on. I'm not seeing big stacks of Dutch armies. The Dutch Navy that I saw is really hardly ever making an appearance. I could muster a big army somewhere when I need to. The only thing I'm scared about the Dutch at all is because they have a tech advantage against me. Why don't I pick the French and just get rid of that tech advantage and just make it go away? I'll have the tech advantage, and then I'll win from being the most technologically successful. Okay. And then narrative number 3 says, listen, buddy, stick to the plan. You've got Topkapi Palace. Sorry, I had never seen the Pirates Administrative Center before. Oh my god, let's turn off the UI for a second. Yo ho ho, motherfucker. Imagine how extra we had to be. We had to make them dig that little lake, like, yar, we love the sea. Like, well, this is kind of inland, though. And like, yar, build it that we may build a boat to maroon in it. That is so goddamn funny. I was like, what the fuck? That's the Pirates Admin Center. I'd never seen it. Oh, man. I am quite bummed I never made a city this era. Like, I think it was correct to not send a settler here because I ended up just getting Technolyticon. I'm not even gonna try, man. But it did result in not getting to see like what they chose for the Caribbean pirate cities names, which are probably a delight. Looking at how silly the Skull Mountain is. Oh man. All right. So anyway, somewhere in this mess there's top. Oh, that's right. I put it by the Maker's Quarters down here, I think, because it had a benefit for being. Yeah, there we go. So narrative 3 says, just stick to the plan. You are going to be the first into industrial. So you are going to get first pick at the industrial wonders. You have influence to do nothing but buy wonders with. And, you know, if you get an even bigger discount, not only are you going to get another 25% discount on those wonders, but you're going to have access to Landraiser, which means you're going to put one of your Heartland cities into Landraiser, getting another, probably, you know, another 500 science, and then just shit out wonders day and night. Okay? Those are the 3 narratives. None of them are wrong. I'm going to keep an eye on this industrial culture save, because I have half a mind to play out all 3 in, like, parallel universes or something, okay? They're all very different ways to play. They're all pretty correct. I think the first thing I'm going to do is veto the Persian one, specifically because I didn't go Mughal. And I spent a lot of time telling you guys last video that, like, oh, going Mughal for the shared project Topkapi spam is really strong. It could be correct. I just wanted to play pirates because they were also good here, and it was new. And because I'm not fully doing that plan, I'm not going to half-ass jump into it when the whole reason I avoided it was to show something new that I haven't kind of played to death. So, not going to do Persians. If you had gone Mughals, you should have gone Persians. Stay with Topkapi. Play it yourself. It's a lot of fun. Now it's the French or the Zulu. And the French are also somebody I picked quite a lot for exactly this reason, right? I'm going to turn on Collective Minds in the city and it's going to go good. So I'm kind of tempted to just stay Zulu. I mean, I'll get to keep cooking higher war support if I want to take another bite at, like, blue this era. I was going to say blue or teal, but blue is the vassal of my buddy, so he can just stay. But it'll give me, you know, I won't need another demand for these guys. I can, you know, just get mine up to above equilibrium. I don't care that they're growing faster. And then once I've got some more support grown, I can refuse it. I'll get instant access to those impies. And then in a worst case scenario, I'll still have iron reserves. I think I want to try Zulu. It's not my normal play here. But I think that I win unless I lose. I don't think I'm going to get outscaled at this point. And, you know, if there's some AI horseshit coming out of the darkness here, then I don't want to be the silly fool who is like, well, guess I'm gonna lose because the AI gets a lot of units. I think I want to just hold my own, play the Zulu, get instant access to the impies, get to build a couple of these fellers to really stand my ground here, and stay on the path of violence. Maybe try to actually win the war. Because even though the Zulu thing is better defensively, you know, I build that guy here. That's going to make it pretty easy for me to start ransacking this this outpost. So, like I said, I think Persians probably still would be strong. I think French is maybe even objectively the right answer here. But I think I'm just more interested in doing this as Zulu. Make sure I don't lose, because I think if I don't lose, I win. So, let's do it. Yeah, he doesn't say his line, because the... Huh. I just managed
your boot designs and blister medicines.
Map the continent. I guess my ally just did the last bit, or I don't know. I don't know why I just got that. So now it's a new era. You can see I shoot ahead because I've got 3 bronzes already. Now then, you guys have got to get to allied territory as soon as possible. You guys... Oh, that's cool. That is... that is a little funny that, like, that mercenaries change. So I really like the feature where the generic units will still get a different look depending on which culture you are. But it is a little bit funny that, like, I air it up and then these guys change skin color. Oh no, something tweaked, so this was supposed to happen this turn and now it is, like, the tiniest smidgen off. That's so annoying. Because if I'd known it would have been off, I would have just allocated one more guy towards, science. Oh well. So these guys, I really do want to, because this is the border one, I really want to start building these and building the Impi, right? And that's like both why I did Zulu is for like that right now. Ooh, hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo-hoo. I am not regretting the Zulu now, buddy. Let me tell you. Imagine if I had said, "Okay, guys, we're French," and then I click and it's this. Disgusting. Actually, though, this is only 1,500, so this is what you spend your money on. We're getting that done. We're popping this feller probably right on the border. That's a resource. Or maybe I want it on this spot where I go. Because the thing is, if I ransack this, then this is not really land accessible aside from going around. But it would still give its, like, adjacency bonus to these downward tiles. Versus this is a better spot in terms of, like, spawning from here and going out. But it doesn't look over the fight like this. But I guess this is where my city center is. So let's just do this. Okay. And we're going to also finish this out with cash.
30 farmers' quarters is quite a milestone. Let's hope the population is getting some exercise as well.
And then we're going to just start building MPs, and then we'll buy them out as it gets near. And our iron reserves has 3 turns left, and then we can get the iron reserves, which will also, you know, I did finish the double veterancy guy. It is a shame I don't have the tourney fields done in time, but it's too late. 15% is not worth the time I spent not building the MPs, but they are going to get the armory upgrades. Let's do a quick trade check with the King of the Mari. Okay, he's got some more stuff. Gimme. Nice. Alright. So these guys are quite a bit weaker than his musketeers, but the Impi are equal strength, and then they'll also have the veterancy, which will take them over. So, and they'll be supplied. So I will have an advantage when he attacks him with these musketeers, and I love that. Oh, Velocity of Gold. Can get a... I think we're going to put Patriotic on Haozheng, the cheaper units, because they were having some food problems. And so even though they're far away from the action, if I make an army, it'll get used sooner or later. And, you know, that'll just help with their food issues. So let's... They've got all the upgrades that make units cheaper. and more experienced. So let's... Oh, I have a saltpeter mine. So let's just sneak out some MP here. At least 2, and then we'll reevaluate. Industrial production. So I was mentioning earlier that like sometimes you've got games really dominated by a need for slots. This is something that fixes it. I think I might just do this now. Well, hang on. Food and market. Nosts were also markets, right? Yes. So let me think each era. The Zhou doesn't matter. The Satraps' palaces are markets. Norsemen are both. Caribbeans didn't make any. So I've done mostly harbor, so I guess I get to pick either way. The Zulu ones I will be building will count as only farmers. So that'll change over time. Right now I probably... Maybe I'll just settle on like what will help, because Hao Jing is the only one, I think, who's having these slot issues anyway. And I'm going to start fixing them, but still they're kind of the ones to look at. So if you look at you guys, what do you got? I got quite a few months. I'm going to take the money. Plus, that will keep me on the far right here to get the money in the outpost, whereas this brings me all the way back to the center. So, yeah.
Let's hope that there is enough innovation and motivation to counteract the long hours.
So now you see how Jing suddenly has 9 slots, and unemployment is a thing of the past. But more annoyingly, I've already got progress in this hamlet, so I gotta just keep it around and keep juggling it. Random thought. This just occurred to me. Because I was so dismissive of the athlete cultures, because I don't need it, I didn't talk about this. One implication, though, is that one thing that would have been really nice about athlete is that picking it instantly puts this to kinship, which instantly gives her another -1 per turn in this war. Not worth changing my mind, so I didn't say it. But it's worth pointing out, because in situations where things are closer, it can be a big deal. Ooh. So I'm not going to upgrade these to Arquebusaurs, because I just happen to know that I'm going to be getting better guns fairly soon. And I'm not going to spend the money twice unless this war actually breaks out. But I will upgrade the pikes to halberdiers now. That's just a great idea. 215 versus... Okay. So we're going to wait on starting any funny business here. We're going to build one more of like the Zulu thing here. Because remember, I'm waiting on refusing the demands here until I could actually start the war that gets instigated. Which is probably when I get the gun upgrade, when each of these cities gets like a well-placed of the Zulu garrison. These guys just do whatever. They're going away next turn. These guys go to sleep. This guy goes to sleep. This fleet. This was the fleet that was going around, but also... Let's just get some free money. I love money. I spend it on goods and services. That's my vassal. Do I care if my vassal, my friend's vassal gets mad at me? I guess I can go look at what the other trade routes are. That's right, then this guy is he the one looking to circumnavigate? Oh, he was the one kind of like soft guarding over here. So he's going to go, just count on Stormborn to get him out of trouble. And if I don't see any Dutch here, I might try to ransack this guy. Okay, Babylon, like I mentioned. Now we want the warriors in Zulu, so that we have a place where if they want to fight, we just bring them here and then be like, okay, buddy, you asked for this. Burka. Burka can also get one. I think after humanism, I'm going to go shift-click this, because it will probably get finished in like the same turn, and I do think I want to absorb cities actually, because I am still at -2 on the city cap, which is -120. You see, is not crippling, but it's not insignificant either. When I'm making 750, it's a noticeable fraction, and I think that these two, okay, 13. The problem with that 13,000 is I might need to use it to buy MP, so maybe this isn't actually usable now. This was still a good move for the sake of the Science Star, I suppose, since I had progress in
Una
it.
tale trasgressione non può essere semplicemente liquidata.
Does he want? Why on earth does he? Oh, is it like culturally or religiously his? Yeah, okay, it's Zoroastrian. I kind of gave up on fighting here with Judaism. I've just had too much going on to build all the... Well, anyway, I think he's probably trying to do another front of war, but I picked the Zulu, and I'm not convinced I need to give a shit. He does have Man of War here, so that is stronger than me once, but he's only got the one. So I could just run the sloops into him really fast. And these other guys are Carracks. I guess I should give a bit of a fuck. They're really strong. Why are his Carracks so strong? What's going on? Weird. The point is, I think I am going... Wait, he's at 100% war support. I don't know why he just got 11 grievances. Oh, did he just take the Civic? Where he gets the grievance for oppressing the faithful? Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to just ignore... He's at 100 already. I won't get to trend upward for having more than him, but I was already going to go to equilibrium. So, I'll just ignore his demands forever. I have no reason not to. So, materials procurement. You can either get 30 war support when declaring a war, because you want to seize resources, or you can get fewer accesses required to create a wondrous deposit. What does that mean? So lovely you asked. It is a race to get the wondrous deposits, and I am here. So we're going to hover over each one. So you see here, I need at least 9 of 18 salt deposits, currently 8, to get wondrous salt deposits. This will make it 20% cheaper. That will let me get wondrous salt. Usually you take materials procurement if you're rushing it, because it will get you where you want to go to make those deposits. And even one of them is like, being able to lock it in now instead of needing to conquer for it.
Trading goods
a big deal.
tends to lead to trading
now, I might switch it before I try to refuse the demands
good stories
of the Rapa Nui and the Aztecs. Because plus 30 will help a lot for those we declare a flash war situations. But right now, what I'm going to do is go to every single city and see if they've got Wondrous, and I'm putting those first. Those are the most important things to build. Haojing gets 3. Perfect. So Haojing is now going to have Legendary Ebony. It's now going to have Legendary Salt. I have Legendary Gemstones. You have to build them on top of an existing luxury. Which there is a funny story about that. In the original, before one of the newest patches, the game would have a warning if you were sure you wanted to destroy an existing structure, which was incredibly stupid because you have to build it on an existing extractor. They got rid of it, and now we're happy. So literally, I'm just going to go to every city, go from most secure to least, because sometimes you'll have multiple cities that can build the manufactory, and you want them to be like as much in your heartland as possible. And like doing that is more important than anything else. I'm not sitting and like reading to you because it's like the wondrous effect is always like percent, like here, 2% food per tea on all cities, 2% food per sage. Like even the ones, like you see there's like many different food that do food in different ways, but their wondrous is all just like, you know, 2% food per that thing. And you just want that. Those are just really, really strong. So you don't stop and you don't think. You just click, 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 click. Lock in all the wondrouses. Put them as high in the priority as possible in case somebody else is trying to scoop you on them. So we're doing that, and then we're going to get a huge buff that will last us for the entire game. Because people will know that if you want the good shit, you gotta go to the Zulu. Beer's got none. Biblos has got this one. So usually, like, there's like the strategic thing of like, should I try to conquer a specific place to get the last deposit I need? But first, I just take materials procurement, build all of the wondrous extractors I possibly can. Once that's done, then I'm going to start looking for what's left. So if I do this, I'm an outlaw. His man of war could just kind of smoosh me. Do I win? A 153 group. This is a 255. He gets a ship of the line. He gets a... if he gets all of these guys together, it's kind of dicey. And he gets to attack first. So I think I might just make sure my navy lives and take it home, rather than doing more banditry. I think that's enough of a show of force that I'm dissuaded. These guys, though. That only pisses off people I don't care about. Boop. Give me the money. Okay, these guys. Gonna go one adjacent to the special district, and they're going direct to heal. These guys are going to go... Oh, that's right. It doesn't have the little scaffolding because now the salt manufactory is taking priority. We're gonna rest. Okay. Next. I didn't end up getting the absorb that I wanted right away. So maybe it's... There's so many good options. I think I can avoid musketeers because the Impi are just better. They're not ranged, but they can move and attack, and they're stronger. So I think because I've got the Impi, I'm not trying to make this jump as fast as I can from Buccaneers to Musketeers. I'm just going to stick with the Impi until I can go all the way over to line formations, line infantry. And even then, they're not really much stronger. So I can kind of like save my tech. I don't need to go so deep down here immediately because the Impi will buy me some time, which is what I wanted. One thing it is worth noting is that Nationhood gives me the next tier of Home Guard, who are 44 gunners. So the Home Guard have guns. That's a big upgrade. So if I can get to there, then Iron Reserves gets even stronger. Carbine gives you the Dragoons who move and fire. It does give you Cabinet of Curiosities, which is another science per pop thing. And then just 10% money. Once I get Taj Mahal, that is going to add up to a lot of money that can just buy me units. Movable Typeface also gives research, but this is the one that gives it for slots and better research quarters. Siege cannons start become important in an offensive war because there's this thing called Dug In, which starts here, I think, with the line infantry. Yes, the entrenching tool. Gunners and heavy weapons, if they don't move, they get dug in, which gives them more defensive combat strength. So the siege cannons not only break walls, like the siege weapons that you build in prior eras, but you carry them around with you when they break dug in. So that's very nice once the enemy starts getting to line infantry, which I know that he's on flintlock. I don't know how much longer it's going to take him to get to line infantry. By the time he does, I'll really want siege cannons. Supply lines does give me better roads to go through my territory. It gives me the grain silo for food, the city cap. These researches are all going to be really impactful. I think I'm going to start with supply lines because I was hoping the absorb would work out okay, but you can see here it's too expensive. And then the absorb I want to do is this one. And that is just a little... It's more expensive depending on like the relative sizes. I don't quite know why I wouldn't always pick the cheaper one. Maybe it's because it gets all the techs and this one has more infrastructure. Okay, I think it is like that. So I think I would want this more expensive one because it will be more infrastructure. Wait, crap. These guys are just stalled on these Buccaneers because of this Home Guard. How long has that been happening? Has this city just been, like, soft-locked for, like, turns and turns? That's fucking irritating. Actually, I want them to go this way anyway, in case there's a war with Teal. Wow, has this city just been wasted all this time? Ever since I built that? I'm mad. There should be, like, a warning or something when you lock yourself out like that. Fuck. God damn it. Well... I'm not going to do that yet. These guys are too far from the action. And that money could buy me impies. So I'm not going to upgrade those guys until I see that they're actually going to be needed. So I think I want to just get the influence, because that is something for a star, you know. it will help the fame. And then the roads. Let me run around. Irreligion. So basically, if an opponent... So, orange is actually a great example, okay? Orange has a bunch of grievances and this demand. If I don't want to deal with that, when I get irreligion, I can become secular. I no longer get Judaism. I no longer get the benefits of Judaism. I can't build new holy sites. But I can no longer get religious grievances. Okay? Because I'm not oppressing anybody's people anymore. We're secular. You can also do atheism. So atheism becomes a new religion. Alright? That goes on the religion menu. It doesn't have holy sites and tenets. You lose all those benefits just like with secularism. But this time, instead of just becoming immune, you are actually trying to push out other religions who get a negative 75% strength. You get stronger faith. And then sort of however much zeal you had for religion before becomes your zeal for atheism, and you shut down another religion, like down here, for example. Because I'm losing over here, it's not a bad trade, and the Zoroastrians are coming. If I didn't want them to get their grievances, because they really went hard on the stone rings. I mean, losing abstain will be sad. Losing fast will be sad. This is actually not a bad time to try to just
merely the brightest star in the
take it away from my enemies, though. I'm also getting quite close to the 4th tenet, though. And the 4th tenet gives me meditate often, which just gives me +2 combat strength on my units, regardless of how well my religion is doing. So I might just try to fight back just enough to sneak Judaism into the higher tier. And then it doesn't matter so much. And then I can go secular because I'm not trying to win with Judaism anymore. I just want the benefits. And then I don't lose the... So that's why you would choose secularist versus... Oh, no, I do lose the tenets from secular. What am I talking about? I just said that. Right? Yeah. Or I can't... Yeah. I don't know. Atheism is an option. It's not what I'm interested in at this time. But it is worth noting that I have not been contesting religion. I keep seeing religious emblematic quarters and passing them. So, this is the result. This guy builds a bajillion stone rings. He has the Church of My Lady of Zion. And I've just been ignoring that aspect. Okay. You fellas, get over here. Okay, I don't want to piss off my ally. He's my friend. It's my ally's vassal. It's my ally's vassal. Alright. Let's see if I can piss off the Japanese, but further away from their big fleet. Just use Stormborn, 9 movement to turn. Sneak my sleeps over and get a little bit of this. And let's have a nice snack. Okay, that's an actual fleet, so I have to be careful. We are reasonably strong just because we're, we'll go into our allies. Oh, wait, is this our allies? Yes, this is our ally. Oh, no, it's Dutch border. Fuck.
Raise the mainsail.
Alright, we're gonna just avoid his actual fleet with our embarked land unit fleet. Pavos. Okay, you guys did build. Oh, sorry, they canceled it to build the emblematic. So we're gonna build it. Yeah, the yields are a lot worse here, but this is just a much better site to have it. You should not need one. You are now Heartland. We have successfully made you that. And in one turn, you're even going to be stable again. No longer mutinous. So I guess you should just start catching up on some infrastructure you're behind on. Starting with library. Burka just built one of them. And they've got the unit making stuff. So yeah, they're going to ignore science. They're on the continent. They're going to just start getting us a couple more MP to help out the cause. Thanks for the money. This one's a little dicey. But our 53 strength now because we're outlaws. Alright. If she brings a fleet here, then she gets some war score for pushing us off.
With the idle chat.
Alright. Haojing finished its luxuries. Now it's working on its MPs. Where are these guys needed most? Do I actually start getting a little staging near Leventa? I don't really think I want to do the war offensively as the Zulu, but I'm not totally sure. I don't think I need more guys over here. I've got this whole stack that I can upgrade if I need to. So maybe I do just kind of leave them over here? Why is that one red? Oh, because that's a trade port, not a harbor. Because there's no harbor in that one. Okay. Well, I guess post up near this harbor. That's right, and then they're patriotic, and that's why I'm doing that. Coming back to me. I also want to get the saltpeter and stuff, but I think I'm going to just run out the patriotism building MPs. They cost 2 population per. That plus the slots for my civic is really going to set housing up for a while. So these guys are going to count on the Edo-Japanese being a little slow. Oh, except I did a weird curve, so I'm not ransacking this turn. Okay, these guys are full. Good for them. I think they're just meant to go onto the city. No, they're meant to stay here because we're going to be spawning into there and rest. You guys are meant to run into my borders so they don't get to clean us up for free with the teal armies. Babylon's got this. Yeah. Okay, so Babylon's going to work on its tourney fields in case things get spicy. Now, the fact that I have that means I think I'm okay starting to take the fight to Babylon. We're very strong. We also get our bonus for being supplied because we're starting this turn in our borders. So,
you have come to annoy me?
You no longer get to cook.
I'm sorry, but no
Alright.
deal is...
He wanted the war. I don't think he wanted the war, but he wanted the war. I can also now iron reserves from here if I need it, but I'm like, doesn't even seem that relevant. Oh, so if I do this siege, looks like he's still got some more guys. Maybe I do just do the iron reserves here to just get the war done instantly. It's kind of tempting. I mean, I did see that awful scary looking Dutch stack here. I don't see it now, though. I don't know what they're doing. This is when a stealth unit could have been good. Because they could be trying to come through, like, the Lumbrian darkness or something. Okay, this is a toughie. Oh, man. Am I not going to get it? Because we're going to become Zoroastrian sooner than I can get the stupid civic done. Maybe here I just try to blitz it through because Shintoism is weaker than Zoroastrianism. And I really just need to get it long enough to get the strength. Oh, that's right. I have the Colosseum. I can get 2 gladiators or I can get 10 war support. I want to see what a gladiator is, so I have no idea. I never had Colosseum. Okay, they're just my draftees. And they upgrade to halberds. That's pretty good. Shame that it's at the Colosseum and not at my spawn, but it makes sense why. I can sure chase this guy down anyway. Yes. Do I just Iron Reserve? I think I do, because I know it'll be good now. That'll put it on cooldown. And then if there's a big fight here, I can just spend my money on more impies as I see it coming. I guess unless she comes out so fast, I don't even get the turn to build them. But then Burka's nearby. I can get it back. Yeah, I'm going to just win this one decisively. Get, you know, more utility. Get Victoria Falls for my own. Oh, wait, I have Victoria Falls. Haha. It's on the top. Smoking out some of these cities and probably just ransacking them, honestly. Because now these are like a bunch of one territory cities that are less good to take. Maybe actually this is the round where I vassalize. And just force him to pay me tribute for being so terrible. And get some more. Yeah, I think we're gonna do this. Ooh, I got enough iron. I make triple veterans now. So you stack into them. And so if you initiate it, it's like that. If you initiate it, yeah, this seems like the best deployment here. Trebuchets are more expensive than ballistas, but they are stronger. But I think I just don't need them. I think I can just assault. Just count on the strength of my super halberdiers here. Okay, this is where the breaching ends, I think, because he can take the... Oh, wait, let's get him the maximum nearby ally benefit and see if that's enough. Yeah, because if he can one-tap the peasant... Oh, never mind, there wasn't anybody standing here, so I still can't get in this turn anyway. But it was still correct to move. Guys in there for the benefit. Hardly anything else to do here. So far, I'm feeling quite rewarded. I was thinking that like the French might just be better and Zulu was just different. But no, I think Zulu was just better, honestly. I think that's the true answer. That is an uphill attack, so that wasn't the best attack the world's ever seen. I think he gets to live one more round just because he can gum up the root to his flag enough. But yeah, not in essence he gets to win though. That guy can do that, and the guy in the back can run all the way up here to get me line of sight. We can. Yeah. Do you one tap? No. So then I can't get to the flag. this round, which means we're just going to take... Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, I was going to say, well, now I have it, but, like, yeah, this spot was not open until I killed the crossbow, so it wasn't, like, incorrect to kill the crossbow. It was necessary. Okay. Well, next time this shit is mine. Try that for free. Oh, that random guy. The more people that are in a fight, the bigger the battle zone gets. So now, like, that one horse got another lease on life from that. Okay, so Sipar is the Heartland one who is behind on infra. So they're meant to just catch up. Nice. Now my city cap is 9 of 8. I'm only minus 10. Doubt the gun has a shot at this point. Yeah. Just all boats running away. That's fine, because unlike last time when he did that while he was the assaulter, so I had to just sit and wait while he ran the boats around back and forth to prove that he's, you know, that I wasn't allowed to siege his city. This time I can just stand on the flag and end it this round as God intended. And the best part is, because we're Zulu, look how much we goddamn heal. Alright. So one of the units I killed was this fella here. Storing these guys up. The gladiators don't get the veterancy from the thing, which is a shame. Okay. Now I think we take advantage of our MP to not go down the military tech line until I go down it all at once. I think I go down like science and development now. Neglect military. Count on the raw power of the MPs, and then flip the switch and get a ton of military at once. So I think then I want the scientific ones, but also nationhood might be something sooner rather than later to get the home guard for iron reserves improvement. But I just don't have that many research quarters is the problem. So the science buffing research quarters is much less good than the science per pop. So we're going to just start with chartered companies. Also, I think most of the wondrous stuff is done. So, okay, no, not quite. We're going to wait another... Once they're all done, then it will make way more sense to start looking for what's left. We can see a lot of them are now shining yellow. And those are the wondrous ones that I've achieved. I get wondrous lead, I get wondrous... Even though there's only 2 of them, there's not enough in the world to make it a high denominator, and because I have the 20% off coupon, I get good money. I'm so mad about that guy who was clogging the production queues for God knows how long. You. That's right, you are running up here to join the fight. And let's have you guys make one more of them. One more of them, MP, and then maybe you're good, Verka. Hao Jing is going to just start amassing them. Which one of the ones today? It was that harbor. We're going to just have them ready. Byblos. More MP. Well, I guess as soon as these guys get here, like next turn, I can then refuse their demand, because I can 2-front a... I guess it'd be 3 fronts because the Black War is still happening, but I can 3 front with these nerds. I don't give a rat's butt. Okay, because I don't see black at all, I am going to take the Gambit to just finish the tourney fields fast before I pump out more.
Liam. If you want to be together
I like
forever, it's hard to choose a nicer place.
Now we got the money. Cha-ching, baby. Okay. As for now, I'll have to remember to split them so I can build more and not pull another Hejabir, but how long is Patriotic here? Doesn't say. A few more turns. Let's just finish the dumb. Oh wait! I can make the saffron manufactory, apparently. Don't know how I missed that. Maybe I just got some more. Okay. Oh yeah, I bet there's saffron in Seuss. I bet that. Yep. Haha. So that's an example of what you check for. What is this guy, sir? Do you know who I am? So we're gonna have the farther away stack initiate it, so that these guys don't get all their movement locked up. Damn, they can run away fast. I'll send these guys after him next turn then. These guys can go to Hyrax Hill. Wait one turn, we'll go attack them next turn. These guys go on bark from here so you don't get caught out. Okay, yes. So you guys, I can just pay and upgrade them right away if there's trouble. So, actually, I am rich enough now that I can just do it preemptively. Alright.
Yeah.
No.
I'm sorry.
Alright. Three-front war. Oh no, whatever shall I do? Probably walk into them with my units. Well, these guys are slaggards, so I guess I'll wait one turn. Like, I'm sure she's thinking it because I've got way less war support, but, like, as long as I win the war, it doesn't matter what my war support is, you know? And if they come for us, we fight on this thing and they win for sure, so yeah, we'll just give it a turn. Nice. I don't know where the Dutch fleet is, but I'm having a good time. So this is 3 of them from 108. We're only 2, but we're enough stronger that we do just win this. Oh, we don't win it against the 6, though. So never mind. Never mind. You guys are actually going to just run backwards so he doesn't get free war score on us. Oh, events. Alright, we did another war. Alright, this time, don't need those Colosseums. That's for the Colosseum's way down in a relevant spot. And this just gives me a bit more buffer if I can't instantly close the deal. I bet I can, though. Before I do building, actually, very important, time to have a look. So there is this guy that I mentioned that because I make the better veterans, the +1 strength per veterancy, now we see my new units are already just fresh triple stars when I make them. So the hotel is just saying +3 strength to all units. Pretty strong. But let's look at some of these 5s. Big Ben. +10% science on capital and another 5% per alliance. And some bonuses in the main plazas and science. Yeah, that's lots of science. I need science. That's really, really good. Big Ben. Eiffel Tower. 1 industry per pop on all cities. Amazing. Just gets shit built. The Royal Palace. Okay, the Royal Palace, I think... The Royal Palace has very cool design, which I think blinded them to the fact that it's terrible. Because the idea is that those osmosis events, where you get stuff from other cultures, they will trigger twice as often, and you're always ideologically similar. So it's all about, like, cultural exchange and stuff. But, like, they're not that big of a deal, the osmosis events. It's when you look at what it's up against, it's just so outclassed. Now, getting the ideological proximity is always maxed out. That's giving you the athlete bonus as any culture. Like I mentioned, that would give me another -1 a turn in this war against the Dutch. Not at all worth it against the alternatives. No, 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 no. No, no. Statue of Liberty. Science and money for things in my sphere of influence. My sphere is actually pretty small, only 31. And that's because in the New World, I haven't been focusing hugely on influence. So you see, I only actually influence the small corner. Mostly my ally is doing it, which isn't causing me problems since he's my ally, which is why I haven't been getting spammed by events to change my culture. but it means that I don't have it. So I don't have a good state. You often will have good Statue of Liberty angles if you are going alone and you're influencing stuff, honestly. I've been kind of cheating, especially because influence is less valuable to me. The Kaiserlicht Werft plus 20 industry on harbor. I mean, I did build like 1 billion Nosts, so that's cool. And then also naval units are just cheaper. If I want to rule the waves, which is a valid thing to try to go for with all my bonuses, this is pretty strong. On theme that it's very strong with the Germans. Oh yeah, and this is from last era. I think it's just Big Ben though. Just give me the science, man. Before anybody else gets it.
Votre compagnie me fait plaisir, comme toujours.
So nice to...
Yeah, I'm not gonna goose golden egg. I just let him stay neutral and I'll handle this all myself. I am big and strong. Yep, we're gonna wait 1 turn and then we'll engage on these guys unless they engage on us, in which case Lamau. Ooh, and then I can also... Well, I was just gonna walk over here and deal with that. That I probably can't do, because I do know that the Doom stack is still running around somewhere. We gotta stay home until we find it. Alright, Senjay now. Yep, you guys were just you were on Taj duty for a while, so you just have a bit of catch-up to do. So let's just get that catching up done. Big Ben duty, but first we can take the time. I doubt I'll need this MP, but just get her built. Once again, if I don't lose, I think I win. So, just focused on not losing at this moment. Sir? Are you alright? I mean, I guess it's kind of close, but I don't think it's close enough. I don't think you should take this. I think I disagree with him. Yeah. If you didn't want to take it, you shouldn't have just been standing there. Because now, I get to do the onion method of, like, peeling them off, and then they can't reinforce. I do this. I think I'm going to do this, start locking them down. It will mean Byblos doesn't get to finish this MP, because it's in the war zone. Oh, but I can... No, I can't buy it out either. But then I'm going to just start getting trebuchets. And then I will just stomp him with trebuchets. And this guy can't help. He's scared. Should have bought out that MP first, though. That was just a misplay. That's right. This is the guy who's playing coy because he's got his big fleets. So he'll just cruise around in here a bit until I save. Okay, now these MPs can start. Oh, hey. Hello, friend. I don't know what your plan is, but it's not working.
I'm already angry.
I bet you are, man. I bet you are.
Position the batteries.
Just hiding way in the back. That's funny. Alright. I'm bored. Now that that's done, switch to this. One guy who took 1 owie he can go home. He's at the nurse. He's like, nurse, my head hurt a little. And then she'll make him a nice cup of tea and he'll feel a little better. Don't worry. Okay, let's get you some adjacent friends bonuses. Not much else these guys can do. Oh, he can get a line of it. So, perfect. Normally you don't attack through a wall, but I don't care. This guy sucks too bad. I think what's happening is the AI must be over-indexing a little bit about our deltas and war score, not realizing that when his people are very weak, it's very easy for me to kill them in time. Because he should not have... Hey! Cassiopeia is our continent. That was the last city that wasn't mine, so now I get the fame for being the rightful owner of all Cassiopeia. Dope. Alright, so this is weak enough on its own. He could have... Where's that ship with the line? Is that... Yeah. I think this guy's ransacking day is over. I think he's going to sit in my borders where Orange will have to actually declare the war. If he wants to take advantage of that. And I'm going to just take a bit of a break from ransacking while I can see all those ships there. Still, made a pretty chunk of change. Ooh. Ooh, hold on. I can run these guys into the back of the battle and then get a pincer movement. That's thematic and cool. I like that. Alright, so you guys did finish your turning field. So what we're going to do is he's going to start a new stack here. He's going to keep that as the spot. He's going to build more MP, and then we're going to even out these armies. Just in case. Yeah, there we go. And then this guy is going to come join one of the other stacks. Par, you guys are catching up. Yeah, 83 from the Inventor's Workshop. That'll get you some science. Right now. Get your Inventor's Workshop. As a reminder, the reason all those Inventor's Workshops are kind of behind is largely because everybody was pitching in for Big Ben. Burka. No, you know what? That was a big enough stack of Musketeers. I am cowed. I am going to keep building MP for a little while longer before Burka's allowed to work on infrastructure. Okay, they took Siamese. Well, they weren't wrong, because you're never wrong to take the Siamese. But they don't have any relevant military benefits. Wow. I didn't even take his last city. He's just already, like... it's just already drained to 0.
You? What is it?
Okay, do I want any of this shit? He's got no cultural wonders. This is a really good menu post-war, because you can stop and see. Like, it's really obvious if there's a wonder. So you can be like, okay, did I miss anything cool? This is like just some... I mean, the researching is nice. But overall, it's kind of bland. Oh! This is a Grand Gopram. I can destroy that. And then... Oh my god, there was one here and I just never saw it. I need to destroy that shit. For the good of Judaism, and then I'll probably get the thing that I want. Okay. So I need to control Seuss to destroy its Gopram. Hyrax still kind of sucks. I can't take this. I can't vassalize him anyway. Well, that's fine then. I don't have So then maybe I'm going to take Hyrax Hill anyway, just because it's what I can take. And I'm going to just absorb those cities or ransack them. You often get these situations where for a couple of turns, you really, because now I'm 3 over and I'm minus 370, but I can either absorb my way out of it or, yeah, okay, or ransack my way out. I think I'm going to do this absorption first, because I know I want to do it. Plus that will let me kind of... Actually, that's interesting. I don't know what's going to happen to this half-built Impy, but it will let me just kind of use the city's combined mites to start building here, and I can always use that forward garrison after. Let's do this partially in the interest of science, because like I mentioned, I don't normally absorb, but it's better here for this specific circumstance. Okay. It's the mighty... Yes! I reclaimed the big Impy, and then... it gets the battlefield perimeter thing, but... Oh, but then okay, so it's kind of glitched in a funny, interesting way, where even though I can't sort of uncheck the one, so it's confused. Even though this is the land unit spawn, it's still... Oh, no, there we go. It figured it out. Brilliant. That's a way to reclaim some gears. Pretty stupid, but funny to me. I enjoyed it. You guys get in there. Boom. Now we build ballistas even faster. Let's get another one. The trebuchets. Let's get some more tres buckets. Have a lovely time. Oh, wait, these guys should also be sailing in. Oh, but that reinforcement tile is occupied. Are there any others? Yes. Okay. Perfect. One more turn so that the boats can get here, too. Should have moved them last turn. Gonna be a nice big. Wow. Already got to 7. I could do a very fast, indeed. But like I said, part of the benefit is iron reserve, and definitely I've got more stars I can farm. It is funny that how quick I got to gold there, though. Alright. So this gives me more access on saltpeter deposits, which is relevant because it is, where's the guy that scales on saltpeter? This is flat 10% science. Somewhere there is a tech. Yeah, this one. +1 science per number of attached territories per saltpeter. So this will both give me the gears, which will let me build Big Ben and my science stuff faster and get me more. Plus also more access on my saltpeter deposits. Okay. Now I am going to start... Like I said, I think I'm probably going to just do this absorb once his guys clear out. And then just destroy Hyrax Hill. That's only 8 pop and the stuff's not that good. This is technically even smaller for pop, I guess. Maybe I do just ransack them both, actually. Yeah, neither of these are actually worth the money cost of absorbing. We're just ransacking them both. But because of that, we're doing the trick. Well, let's go get Big Ben on lockdown now. Because then they can contribute their gears before they die. So who does Big Ben want to be next to? Market quarters. I have a couple of those where I've got palaces, I guess. But it also needs to be on a river. Because it's got to be by the Thames. Where does the game want me to build it? It's not showing anything. I wonder if there's like somewhere on the new... I'm really not building this in the new world though. There's no sense putting Big Ben in danger of harm. Yeah, everybody's got 100. I guess Haojing is the most important to stay at 100, but also it's 149%. So if you're wondering why my surplus is so much, remember every legendary, like, Wondrous Extractor also added more happiness. So that's the wrong button. So, like, of the cities that aren't at 100, yeah, they're going to have a 71% surplus. They're going to have an 100%. They're just not at 100% yet. Okay, except, yeah, Sipar is going to be 110. But Feng Hao is only going to have a 20%. And they do have a Satrap's Palace, and there is a river. So maybe this is where Big Ben shall live. Though I do kind of just like... I'm a little greedy goblin. I kind of like just the look of having all my wonders together. And, like, I don't pay that much. I'm only losing, like, 8 science per turn to have it look cooler. So I think that might win. Have one easy spot to defend all the wonders. Put them all in the same river. Let's go. Okay. So you're doing that. You are going to work on Big Ben. Nice. We just have to wait 74 turns. Oh, here we go. We did have an osmosis. Even though it's our ally there. I don't know why. Well, I'm not going to take this one, because like I said, we're not creating new ones. So that is going to give them a 50% Malus, which is going to take them down from settled. But I don't care. They're not making enough for me to really be fussed about it. Oh, this guy can go kill the trespassers now. Hey. In my territory, nerd. I know that you lived here 2 seconds ago, but it's still trespassing as far as I'm concerned. Haha. Free war score. So he can refuse that to make me, like, you know, do that thing where it's, like, instantly declares war. But this time, I have Colosseum, and he, like, doesn't, right? So, he does, like, really bad and right away. If he, I guess I want to take the turns to finish the ransacks, but then I can just refuse it. Because I get the +10 from Colosseum, and he gets nothing. And I already got a big turbocharge from all these grievances that I can demand. Okay, you are just going to poke your head out again and see if we see the Grand Japanese Fleet. We do. Okay. Pleasure talking to you. I should build the next boat. I should get like 1 man of war with these sloops so I can actually hang a bit. These guys are gonna go here in preparation for a war with if he wants to fucking try me. Which, speaking of, from a resource perspective, let's have a quick look.
Notre
Peace.
partenariat est un atout. Mais j'ai de
It
plus
happened,
ambitions.
guys.
Really?
It happened. That's why I have the osmosis. Because you get these really successful alliances, and then eventually the game just sees that you're doing too well and it breaks them. And that's why stuff that is like factors in having a really durable alliance to be worthwhile is not smart. Now, what does he want? He wants Rasselhog. But I don't want Rasselhog. I'm gonna just ignore it, I think. Again, he's at 100 already. But yeah, he broke all our treaties. What a dick. Yep, that's just a situation where we just stand perfectly still, don't make sudden movements. Just knowing that we're building up our MPs, we'll have enough of a defensive edge that then we can just quietly focus on scaling. Political entitlements. Ooh! Combat strength on militia like scales with iron reserves, but I don't care. Combat strength on emblematic unit is like just super duper great. Tempting, but I often upgrade them all anyway.
Whether they're smarter or luckier, they've risen above the rest.
Oh, by the way, just because I went on that tangent with Ethiopians and Italians about garrison civs versus common quarters civs, like here you go. Here's part of why that is a distinction. Again, we just haven't had to care. I should maybe have been grabbing some of this shit. There's no other imperialists. My ally is anti. Save it for now. Okay. That's right, you guys need to also go search and destroy the GoProm. I should actually do that first here. It's there. Oh, it's right next to me. Perfect. No. Bad faith. Go away. And then these guys can just go and... Now it's 129 because they're acting alone. Yep, sorry, your city sucks too bad. Doesn't even count as a city to me. They don't need any more armies. I'm going to just clean up, stack all these guys. Maybe stack some at Ur's border and some at Tlemkin's, and then refuse his demand, and if he wants this again, he can have it again. So, Babylon, I guess you get to do some catch-up now? Probably time for this big fight. But let me get the rest of the map settled first here, just for my own sanity. 2, 108, 12. I think I can just keep pulling away my territory here. Oh. Hmm. They are staying. And they might have enough because it's 5 versus 2. But they are, like, melee. So I think this might still do it. Because I get the first shot. Oh, they're hiding. That's rude. Alright, well then I think I meant to... Yeah, stay far enough away that I know they can't make it there in one turn. Come on. There he is. You got seduced by the war score. We have gone. Alright. Oh, I need to be careful because now Haojing is building its own Big Ben, which I do not want. Okay, so Haojing's harbors are... Okay, it's got one of its harbors here. I want you to go there. I want you to go make 2 men of war so I can actually start doing some navy stuff over here with the sloops. This guy, yes, you are running to join your pals. You are forcing this side. Once I've got two stacks of 7, then I think I can ease up on the military here. I think that's enough to defend my varying interests. You guys? Science up. I could run these 2 over here, but it's probably going to be over by the time I can make it, so I'd rather just keep them there as backup. Yeah, I think 1 more MP, and then that's enough of the ones from down here. They finish it off, and then... Okay, but now, as I was mentioning, it may be time to resolve this here siege. We could get 1 more Tribucket. Why not get 1 more Tribucket? I don't lose anything for it. I guess he gets to get this cog involved, but I can handle that. You can see how being behind tech in the Navy is a really bad idea. It's a pursuit. He's trying to fall back. I do not approve.
I'm already angry.
Yeah, no shit. I would be too, man. Let's go. Stack these fellers together. Run these fellers over. And stack with these fellers, who apparently missed doing so last turn. Whoops. And now... You are a joke.
I'm sorry,
I refuse.
but no deal is better than a bad deal.
And I can go demand exactly 1
There is a
trespassing
penalty to be paid.
to cook me
Worse
up.
still,
I don't actually want to demand all them because when you have the grievances like this trespassing, it automatically is part of your war statement. And if you want that thing, like if I want the money, it's very efficient to go to war based on a grievance because it happens at sort of, let's say, half value. Right? Like you pay half the war score, demanding it as part of your demand, than you do asking for it in the post-game screen. But you must ask for it. Whereas if I want to like vassalize him or take his final stuff, I don't necessarily want the money, so I don't want to have all 5 trespassing grievances because then I have to spend all that war score on trespassing. Whereas now I'll get 1 to cook my war score up faster, but I can kind of spend on whatever I want. Ooh, money from grievance and surrender. Well, okay. Maybe now I do lose the influence, but like I said, I don't really
Let's
care.
hope it's the cream. and
Now
not
if I
the
go
butter, in
oligarchy,
fact,
now I think I might
rises
just
to
farm
the
this guy for oligarchic money. For having just said that, I now
There is a
demand all.
penalty to be
Because
paid.
now you've got to pay me even more. And then I'll just be rich. And I'll spend the money on wild success. Skipping them so I don't miss when the Man of Wars get done. Okay, you guys. Catch up on your science. They're kind of behind on their gears too. Persians would have been nice, but like I said, I'm not regretting the Zulu, especially not because at any moment I could end up facing the music on those musketeers, right? And then I'll be quite pleased. This is not a time to get fancy. This is well, I do want a pretty much monoculture because they are my best. I do want some range. I guess there's one gunner in each army. Maybe I do actually get a couple more guns. Get a couple buccaneers. That's what I'll do. Oh, there's the big stack. Are they at war with somebody else?
You dare to come before us and waste our time?
Okay, they're at war with Brown. Why did you break our alliance if you're at war with Black, moron? Okay, so he's got the stealth army, and then he's got, yes, this big musketeers army. 320 strength. These ones are weaker, but together they're stronger. Yeah. We just hold tight and don't make waves for a little bit longer here.
I do not live for revenge.
I do. Okay, these guys are just gonna take a nap here. I am gonna just sleep them. I'll just have to remember to go check in on them when the Men of War are done. Yep. Notice that these outposts have like 13 food they can do. So I don't get to use these districts as districts until I actually attach them. But it still counts for like the job. And yeah, this is cheaper than the absorbs were, so I like it. I don't really need to. Well, I guess I probably should just because those districts like have yields. Yeah, just get her done. There we go. Mighty city of Babylon. And Samar's full too, and I can afford this. Perfect. Well, we got a pretty good city on our hands here. This one has more space, because it's got a couple others. Sipar has a 25 surplus, so Sipar will probably grab this one. I'll wait a bit on that, though. I want to keep enough in my pocket that if I'm like, oh shit, I can just poop out an army. But, alright. You are now finally, I think, cleared to work on your own yields, my friends. Worth noting, if I wanted a new city, that colony blueprint is, you know, just like the three-masted ship and feudalism before it. This is the one where I get all the previous info making a brand new city. Also, you just get cheaper makers' quarters. You can start using coal, but you can't use it for much yet. And then you can build train stations. Train stations are fun. You build a train station once in each territory. And then it only costs 1 movement point to use a rail link. So if I have a train station like here, 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 then to go from this train station to here is 1 movement point. But you can notice that that's not, because I own all of Cassiopeia myself, and the other fights are on these borders, it's not that big of a deal to have trains for me right now. It's not a priority. Which is a shame, because I have autism. So I wish that trains were my solution here. Tragically, they are not. Okay, so you're going to just go wait ominously on that coast. I'll wait. You fellers. Okay, you guys are actually having job issues because of all that stuff you attached. So maybe your next job is a remote. But that's in the battle zone, so please try again. Pick one that is not in the battle zone. Maybe just this 10-11? Yeah. Let's go Alright. I am still trading with Brown, even though he is, like, breaking alliance, but that's a good signal that he might stop trading at any time. Cheaper research quarters is nice. Propeller is good if I need the... This is where you get the really strong. But you need coal for those, but you do get coal. Let's just get the movable typeface. Let's just keep going on science. Also now, we got the buckets. We probably could have started this a couple turns ago, but I wanted to keep it fun. So you guys can see some buckets here. Get them far away from the walls so that nobody can breach the walls. You can't move them, so you got to make sure you like where they are. But yeah, here we go. This high wall spot. Can't really get around. Stack them like 2 and 2 like this. Okay, we mostly want you guys. We want some gunners on the walls too, because they have no choice. Especially the corner where you can see walls but you can't touch them. That's an ideal spot for a gunner right there. Gunners aren't as good at breaching because of the can't move and shoot. Alright. Sometimes it really matters to break in. Like if you've got a good mounted army and you want to let them through, like if you're using the French with that French unit, and you all focus on the same wall to try to break it down. Maybe I'll focus this wall just so you can see it in action. I don't think it matters for me here. Anti-cav. Oh, couldn't be finished. Can you get sight of it, my man? Is this gonna block a whole entrance that this horse has 1 health? That's annoying. I didn't play it very strategically, so it's kind of on me. But also, my fate is cruel. He is frozen. There we go. The game is sleepy. It does not want to... I guess I should end my play session soon. It looks like they're getting a little tired of my shit today. Yeah, you can see the ballistas didn't end up mattering. I probably could have just gone in on the... Oh, wait. Damn it, this guy. But now, nobody can move in because nobody adjacent has their turn, and we didn't finish killing the wall. Oh well. I'm also learning that it really didn't matter. Okay, let's finish off the wall just to show what it looks like. So now he's hitting the crossbone and not the wall. That is an unfortified tile. You clean it up. And now look at that. The horse gets to go inside. Hooray for horse. I blocked my line of sight from my gun. So I was trolling. Oh well. Oh, duh. He had an attack there. I actually did lose a unit there. Because I missed that like on this little spit, the Jaguar Warriors could still attack him. So that was on me, guys. Yo, wow, this game is sleepy. So I guess we're cutting it after this fight. We'll do a quick, Oh, I've still got one more of these. Hey. Go. Is that lethal? Trying to get their flag back. They don't like that I have it. But I love having it, so... Oh, we got other boats. Hey! Yeah, other boats. What's happening? I don't like that you're here. Good guy. You died to a horse even though you're inside. Oh, the boats are too far for the ballista. How sad. I hope his cogs can't 4v1 kill a... That would be a disappointing end to all this. No, they're hiding. Okay. 34 war score swing.
Ihr? Was habe ich mit euch?
I bet you declared because you're like, oh, he's in 3 wars. That's going to go so bad for him. There's no way the proud and mighty Zulu are going to simply win all those wars. Alright, so this is going fine. We're going to just march down here, do that next. This continent will just be me. Me and my erstwhile ally who is being a huge dick. But he's still trading, so even though the trade is way less valuable, because we don't have all those, like, treaties, it's still just really good. I own the continent. I'm just going to post up here.
I do not live for revenge.
Cook
but I
5 a
could
turn
die for it.
until I'm ready. And over here. I guess I'm going to just start gradually taking some of this stuff for more industrial capacity. Just build up enough defensive stacks that I can hold my own. They're going to keep their war up, and then I can kind of pick away black while if... do I have... Okay, I still have open borders and non-aggression. He just broke the alliance, but it's a taste of what's to come. But yes, I will invest some money in getting some of these. I mean, some of these are just going to be wasted food, and that's just how it's going to have to be. But at least this way I can, like, get the border covered and just have more, like, manpower and industrial for the city here. So they can't just walk in anywhere. All of this is now... The soft underbelly is now ensconced. Also, I promised and did not deliver my Wondrous check. So, papyrus. Okay, it looks like I now have enough papyrus to do it. I'm having supply issues. I don't know what that means. But that's why I'm not getting enough from Zerator to build this Wondrous. But I should check, so Papyrus is in Sipar, and I should just check Sipar now, because it looks like I claimed enough to... Huh? So why can Sipar not... Wondrous... That's Sage. What was it again? I lost it. Here. Papyrus. Yes. Oh, I must make 3 of 10, currently 2. So the trade is not counting for this, then? Is that the idea? I thought the trade did count for a lot of these. Maybe I'm just wrong. Because... Yes, because here's my papyrus. Artisan's Quarter. It looks like these fellas cannot build the luxury papyrus. Okay. So, that's where we are. We have the music constantly cutting out. And I'm going to do some Googling and see about fixing it, because it's really starting to tilt me. And we have a pretty good situation. Continent is nice and stable. And the this is going very well with teal now. So then it's just the probable war. It looks like it's going to be me and the... Who did the Dutch become again? They took the Siamese, right? Yeah. Me and the Siamese are the two great powers, and then brown and orange sort of get to sit at the table, but brown has doomed themselves to ignominy by not aligning as strongly with me. Orange is just too far away, and I just don't have to care about them, so I won't. They're just a one-continent power that, you know, they were Ghanaian for a time. It worked pretty well. It doesn't work anymore. They'll probably just get wiped out or something. Don't care. Babylon. I still call them Babylon because of how long they stayed. They're up in Nui. Technically have 7,000 fame, but I don't care. They're even less relevant than the 6th and 7th place. They're just nothing waiting to die. So, solidify my holds over this. Count on the Impy to get me over this last phase. And then, once I lock down all of these science buildings and infrastructures and build Big Ben, that can hopefully accelerate me through the science of the rest of the game. And then, when I don't need iron reserves anymore, and I get some of these gold stars going on, I have, you know, my big 3 military expansion population already done, but some of the builders and money and science, then I can pick a contempt culture and try to lock it in. So, yeah.